Welcome everybody to Young Composer Reacts to Snarky Puppy Shofukan from We Like It Here. Look, I haven't recorded a video in like 5 days, even though I posted one recently. So I'm getting a little nervous, but I'd like to say first of all, thank you Geebz for commenting your nice comment under the Man I Trust reaction video. You didn't have to do it, but you did it. Makes me feel nice. I'm a little nervous as I said, so let's just get right into it. Oh my god, okay, I have to stop here because I'm losing control. I'm losing the grasp of what's even going on. There's many musicians in that band and they're, obviously it's fusion sort of jazz, weird style. Not really easy to break down even for a composer. I mean, it's... God damn it. The beginning of it is absolutely beautiful. Took some notes. The first thing it makes me think of is Dream Brother by Jeff Buckley. It's actually the first song by Jeff Buckley I heard, which isn't Hallelujah, because obviously, people tend to just hear Hallelujah whether they want it or not. I know he just made a cover of it, but people associate that song with him because he made it so much more popular than it was from Leonard Cohen's version. I digress, but the scale that's being used, this sort of Middle Eastern feel with the guitar, it sort of sounds like this song by Jeff Buckley, and the reason it's one of the first I heard is because it's the first one on his amazing album that was released after his passing. That's a compilation of live performances called The Mystery White Boy, my bad. Anyways, second thing I noticed is the amazing pinch harmonics on the guitar. I won't even demonstrate it because I don't do it that well, but on the guitar you can find some sweet spots where the natural harmonics of, that are present in every note can really stick out if you just put your finger right on them. And it's always nice to see that being used in compositions because harmonics don't actually bend to our rules of music, the rules of the West, where you have the 12 different notes. The harmonics are just like actually here in every sound whether we want it or not, and they don't always fall where we would expect in Western music, and they found those that actually work. Is awesome. And then the percussion player, I said in the last Snarky Puppy video that he was such a bro because of his facial expressions and stuff. He seemed to be so full of joy. He's doing so much at the same time. What the hell? Can we get a little bit of appreciation for that man? Oh man, I love doing this. And yeah, the next, the following section is really taking me by surprise. I'll just keep reacting here. I didn't want to pause it, but there's still a couple minutes to go, so I think I'll lose my train of thought if I just keep it rolling. My colleague, I tried to read up on the names of everybody, I just have a couple, but yeah, my colleague is the bass player on this project, and he apparently sort of directs the whole thing, decides on maybe the arrangements, etc. Haven't read too much into it, but he can be seen playing actually the bass on a synth bass. Now that's always so cool. Like when you have a bass player with a strapped on bass and stuff, you just expect them to play bass, but the fact that he's able to like make that choice to have the synth in front of him so he can go for those textures if he wants to reach out to them is great. There's something about that that's like beautiful in terms of ego, because you know, if you're really good at bass, which obviously he is, you would tend to maybe like try to stick to it all the time and show your skill and stuff. And you know, synth bass is sort of something that sometimes bands do in the studio when the bass doesn't necessarily have to be so flashy on a song and stuff, so they just do it very simply on the synth. It's easier to manipulate with the computer afterwards and stuff, so it can be seen as in a negative light in the world of bassists. But the fact that he just says, I don't care, you know, I want this texture here, I'm gonna play the Moog or whatever synth it is. Really nice. Again, the Eastern sort of scale with that note, right, one semitone over what you would expect to be the main note of the scale, if that makes any sense. You know, they sort of linger on that note that is really dissonant to our Western ears, and that doesn't match, you know, the sort of chord progressions you can hear on the radio and stuff. I you know, the idea of those videos is I'm a young composer, I don't know everything. I know this stuff relates to modes, and each mode sort of has its name, etc. I don't know what mode this is exactly. I hear maybe Phrygian, might be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments, because I want to read up on that actually. All of that stuff, you know, I just don't want to hide the fact that I have real holes in my music education. But maybe that's cool. Maybe we can grow together. Larnell Lewis is the drummer, and apparently he learned all those songs on the airplane, which you know, for lingus that was sort of like, oh man, that's pretty impressive, but you know, is it for the whole thing, the whole concert? If so, that's, I mean, I would like to know how long that plane ride was, but that's a level of fluidity in terms of music reading that is quite impressive. It reminds me, the whole chord progression reminds me of one of the first songs I heard on, I learned on guitar, which is called La Fiesta. I'll put a little extract here. The guitar arrangements on this thing are fabulous. They just got a little quieter as we went to the trumpet solos, etc. But right before, you know, the stuff they did with open strings and stuff, it's so impressive if Michael is the one coming up with those arrangements. I don't want to talk out of my back, you know, so I'll just not assume too much. But if he did do that, that's so cool, because those parts seem like they were designed like specifically for guitar. They sort of sound like the kind of parts the guitar player would actually come on in the studio with and be like, oh, I found this really cool thing, let's make a whole song around that. But it's not, it's just here to serve. That's amazing. God damn it. Man, I'm gonna let it play out muted here. Maybe there's some cool images we can get. I sort of paused it last time, but yeah. My God, I got into that. You know, the reason I'm making this video is because the last one did really well and stuff, but I still expected maybe to see something really good, and I did. Man, the speed at which this composition can go from a really sad thing to a really like awe-inspiring, head-bobbing sort of vibe, even with like quintuplets going on in there, you know, not really the sort of stuff I would tend to necessarily bob my head to, but I just couldn't help it. Unrelated, the camera work is unbelievable. I love the sort of choices that were made here, like the fact that there's a static cam in front of Larnell, like under his hat, the fact that we just see the kind of POV weird view like that reminds me of Radiohead's Scotch Mist film. Really cool stuff. They actually auctioned some of the bicycle helmets that we're wearing with the GoPros and stuff. Unrelated, sorry, I digress. The vocals, man, some coronas on those people for making the choices they made here. Again, if it's Michael engineering all of those arrangements, how do you even do that? Like, how do you even go from this thing where, you know, multiple percussion players and guitar players and brass players are doing this, you know, tight thing that they've been doing their whole life and stuff? How do you go from that to like, hey, I want you to sing here, and you're not a singer but you're gonna sing? That's amazing. I really admire that. I really admire too Corey. I haven't really even seen his face in this video. I'm not sure it's him, but I believe I recognize this gentleman playing synth as being the guy that played this great solo last time. How cool is that? That maybe it's this one guy that's, you know, so gifted on a synthesizer that's just here playing sort of along with the bass. The ego is really has no place in serious music making, you know, and it's so well managed here. It's great to see those choices being made. I know this is a pretty long video, so I don't really have much else to say. Otherwise nobody's gonna watch, you know, YouTube algorithm sort of thing. I need people to watch the whole video sort of. So I'll just, you know, say goodbye. But this was a really good find, and comment your next suggestions. Bye bye, guys.